Begin with an introduction of where we are, Honorable Chief Guest and members present. We find ourselves at a precipice in public service, where public service is constantly evolving and changing. On one hand, we have demands from the public service in terms of the numbers that are increasing, a requirement of a new set of skills. We have AI in the mix, the need to turn ourselves into a data-driven decision government. At the same time, the demands from the public that we serve are also changing and increasing. So we are changing in quantity, we're changing in quality, we're changing in the way the public service should indeed be constituted. That's one of the challenges that we face. The other challenge that we face is that we are a public service that is not only competing within itself, but we are really competing with the private sector. All the heads of the institution here will tell you that the public service, in terms of attraction, government has become the place where the private and international to get real qualified talent. It's like we're becoming a breeding ground. The Honorable DPP was in our office the other day, and he has got real challenges in his office retaining staff. KBC, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, can't retain their staff. They train for the private sector. Very cognizant of these two challenges, SRC set our role. Okay, if someone could just move this for me. Cognizant of these challenges, SRC then went ahead to come up with our 5-year strategic plan. I don't know if anyone can help me with this kindly. All right, thank you. Thank you. Cognizant of these two challenges and backed by the fact that we have an ever-shrinking resource purse and the rising demand in public service, our 5-year strategic plan is anchored on the need to move into productivity in measuring performance. With that, let me go into the principles that SRC uses in determining pay, that is more interested in outcomes rather than activities, and we want to see impact and hear less words. Based on that, this is the new vision of SRC. A fair and equitable remuneration for a productive public service. In recognizing the need for a public service, so we can go to the next slide, we came up for a productive public service. We came up with 5 key result areas. If we could go to the key result areas, please. Our first key result area. Key result areas, please. Our first key result area is on productivity. Tony, if you could go to the slide on the key result areas, please. Next slide, please keep going. Yes, please. Our first key result area is on the recognition of productivity and performance. Here, we are saying that there is a need to grow the cake. But as we grow the cake, we are asking ourselves, does 35% make sense for a public service that is in a developing country where the number of employees will continue to grow? And the only way we are going to meet that need is to make sure that we grow the cake through productivity, so that as we grow the cake, we are able to maintain our current public service. Our second key result area is on a sustainable wage bill management for equity and fairness. Members, I will let you know that the numbers are looking good. We have come down from a wage bill to revenue ratio of 51% in 2017-2018 to the current standing in 2023-2024 of 40.4%. The number required by the Constitution is 35% wage bill to revenue. Of comparison of the wage bill to GDP. We currently give us the target of reaching 35% by the year 2028. I must say that while there are challenges in terms of growing numbers of employees in the public service, it looks like we're down the road of employees will continue to grow in the health sector, in the security sector, and in the education of employees in public service. And that will continue to grow. Our third key result area is on policy and research. At SRC, we're no longer going to be relying on guesswork, and in the need to have a consistent advice as well as a transparent and accountable advice, we really want to strengthen our policy and research area. So we give advice that is equitable across public service and with good reasoning. On top of that, we recognize that SRC is one of its kind in Africa. We're continuously getting requests from all over Africa asking us to help them set us an SRC equivalent or coming to benchmark with us on how SRC performs its work. In the whole of sub-Saharan Africa, I am not aware of another SRC that exists. And the way we are able to help advise not only within Kenya, but as a center of excellence for Africa is strengthening our policy and research. Our key result area number 4 is on communication with stakeholders, where we aim to strengthen how we speak to our stakeholders and listen and understand the public sector better. Our final key result area 5 is on institution strengthening and digital transformation. There is nothing that we can do without data, and we do envision on setting up a data warehouse for wage bill, that at the touch of a button, we can be able to show you where the country is, both national government and county governments, in terms of revenue and in terms of benefits and how much we are costing the taxpayer. Touch of a button, one source of true data of wage bill in government throughout the country. To do that, Honorable Chief Guest, we will be needing you in terms of institutional strengthening as we seek to increase our resource base. Those are our 5 key result areas, the areas that we are welcoming the public and welcoming the public service to hold us into account. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Makofi tena kwa Commissioner Wangoi. Asante sana. In the interest of time, Head of Public Service and our guest, all of us may not have opportunity to make some speeches today. Just allow me to recognize the following officers from different departments of government. Number 1 is officers from the Executive Office of the President, Judiciary, World Bank, Office of the Auditor General, National Commission for Data Protection, Capital Markets Authority, Ministry of Defense, Pharmacy and Bosons Board, Retirement Benefits Authority, Auditor General's Office, REREX, CRA, KIPRA, Kenya Yearbook, National Housing Corporation, KCC, CAJ, Nuclear Power and Energy Agency, Kentrack, Office of the Controller of Budget, Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, KEMSA, IBC, APSEA, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Teacher Service Commission, Media Houses, Kenya Film Commission, Micro and Small Enterprises Authority, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, National Biosafety Authority. In the Religious Council, Engineers Board of Kenya, Higher Education Loans Board, ESCC, ISPAC, HAWAC, Hindu Council of Kenya, Privatization Commission, and IPOA. Kindly accept that we don't have enough time to give all of us to make some speeches. We will allow that few of us will have an opportunity. In the interest of time, kindly expedite. Number 2 is now I'll take this opportunity to welcome Madam Dr. Kilda Odera to take us through the next program. Round of applause for Daktari Zikams. Asante sana. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Melly. A very good morning to all of you. To our chief guest, Honorable Felix Koskei, the Permanent Secretary, the Ministry of Public Service, Madam Jane Karen Imbunya, distinguished guests, good morning. We have a very brief program this morning. In the interest of time, we appreciate that you all have very busy schedules, and we are very grateful that you have taken time out of your schedules to just come and hear from us the plan that we have for the next 5 years at the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Indeed, this is the third commission of SRC, and we have been taking into account a lot of comments that you made, and so we appreciate that you have come to hear from us how we can work together to make things better in the public service. As you heard from my colleague, Commissioner Melly, Senator Melly, we have a very brief program. Chief guest, we appreciate your time. And so before I call the chairman, I will call two speakers up. And that is, I'll start by calling Mr. Gershom Otachi, who's the chairperson of the National Land Commission. He's also the chairperson of the Forum for Constitutional Commissions and Independent Offices, the outgoing. So I'll ask him to come up, Mr. Otachi. A hand for him, please. And let him walk us through a few comments that he has. Mr. Otachi, you're very welcome to make your brief remarks.
The chief guest, head of public service, PS public service, all protocols observed. Mine is and support to SRC for this milestone. I stand here on behalf of the CCIO current chair, but as probably chair emeritus, we is Nancy Katungu, the OAG, and the vice chair is actually the chair of SRC, Mr. Chepkwony. Can we give him a clap for his ascension? So because Nancy was away out of the country, and the chair of SRC could not speak as chair of the caucus, they asked me as a retired chair to make a few remarks. You can kindly stand up, the chairs present. This is a support that we lend to each other as constitutional of independent offices. We continuously support each other in the journey. There are many others out there who look up to us as a country and say, can we? When the Chief Justice of Ghana was being hounded out of office, the Ghanaian to all of us is continue strengthening constitutional commissions and independent offices. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Ms. Independent officers, something that we must continue to talk about. Able to execute the mandate that they have been given in the Constitution. And with that, there's none. After that comment, than Honorable Justice William Ouko, the Chief Justice this morning. So I'd like to call him up to speak on behalf of the Chief Justice and possibly weigh in on that comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. The Chief Guest, the Head of Public Service, the Chair and Commissioners of SRC, Chair and Commissioners of other independent or constitutional commissions and independent officers, distinguished invited guests. As you've heard, the Chairperson and Commissioners for the kind invitation extended to me to participate in this important occasion. This launch is a critical moment in the broad public sector. This is because officers. It will translate constitutional ideals RC occupies a central place in Kenya's constitutional architecture. The Commission was conceived as a key institutional pillar of ensuring physical prudence, equity, and transparency in public sector compensation. Its constitutional and statutory functions are fundamental integrity of our public service. In the performance of its sustainability, attraction and retention of requisite skills, recognition of productivity, Commission has played an indispensable role in analyzing Kenya's public sector compensation system. The Commission has disparities existed. Indeed, through its judiciary acknowledges the challenges that accompany this work. Despite various challenges, the Commission has remained steadfast in advancing a transparent constitutional mandate of interpretation of the Constitution and the law, has had the duty advisory in name, but constitutionally grounded and binding in principles of institutional independence, especially among constitutional legitimacy, ensuring that its advice and decisions are both respected and but constitutional imperatives. The judiciary remains of equity and accountability. This is service excellence. In conclusion, allow me one.
Especially SRC staff, you heard what he said. Thank you very, very much for that. And please convey our warmest greetings to the Chief Justice. Sami Chepkwon to make some brief remarks, and before he does so, to
Able Vice Chair of SRC for conducting that part of the program. Our chief guest, the one and only Honorable Felix Koskei, who is the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service of Kenya, the PS Minister of Public Service, Justice Ouko, representing the CJ, my colleague chairpersons of institutional commissions, and all the distinct that you found time to come she calls it the vision of SRC. Maybe just quickly, because I've got some instructions from the Vice Chair. Really, the credit for developing this strategic plan goes to the commissioners of SRC. And allow me, Chief Guest, before you make your remarks, to ask them to be up standing so that you see them. Those are the commissioners of SRC. I will also ask on behalf of the Secretariat, because of their technical contribution to the strategic plan. Standing next to me. So guys, thank you. You can sit. Chief guests, allow me also to introduce, I think they are lead. I don't know, you guys will be up and standing, the chief guests can see you. But I think you did a good job. Chief guest, I will not make a just to say that what Commissioner articulated here summarizes our strategic plan. A lot of information in this process of strategic planning. And two key things came up in terms of pay determination in public service. I think the 35% threshold, that is a requirement of in terms of the national wage bill. Now, we are coming down at a rate of 3%. Intentions of the third wage bill conference, which gave us a target of undertaining the best talent to run public service and the chief of staff, is that we need a strategy to grow the cake. A lot of people call it productivity. Some others call it performance and productivity. But we need to expand the cake. We've examined information from other jurisdictions around the world. And indeed, we have confirmed that Kenya is still below what we need to have in terms of productivity, not just within Africa, but across the world. And as they say, data doesn't lie. So, as of 2025, I notice ILO. If the data is wrong, please blame ILO, not. But they have said that we are number 27 out of 53 African nations in terms of productivity. Countries that they looked at globally. We are therefore looking at this information in terms of labor productivity per public sector employee. 2023 per employee. Again, the data says we are at 7,000. I'm told Kenya was better than Singapore. They took it, implemented $7,000 per public sector employee, and they have used our very own sessional paper to enhance their productivity to 112,000. Chief guest, we are saying that we want to partner with you as SRC to focus the country on the key strategy of productivity. That is why presentation, it was the number one KRA for SRC. Else, chief guest, this is the final thing I'm saying. We found out that even if you have very good strategies, like SRC has now, that has been validated not only by the consultants, but by stakeholders, because we reached out to almost every aspect of the public service when we are developing the strategic plan. We did a lot of consultation, and we found out when we looked at regionally and globally that the distinguishing driver for success is something they call governance. Governance makes a difference between success and failure, even when you have the finest strategy you have. It is not therefore by accident, sir, that we chose you very carefully to be the chief guest as we launch this strategic plan. Why? Because you sit at the apex in terms of employing and managing and coordinating the public service. So we feel safe that with you here, we can take this country in terms of productivity to where we are supposed to be. And maybe just to say something to us all is that we have studied the vision of the current Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, and we are convinced that he is one of us in the pursuit of transforming public sector productivity in Kenya. We recently saw a very good memo, the entire public service to go the way of productivity. What we are assuring you as SRC today, as you launch for us this strategic plan, is that we will support that strategy through the mandate that we have been given by the Constitution of Kenya. We are your allies, we are your partners, we are, I know we are independent, but on this matter, sisi ni watu yako ya mkono on this matter. So Waziri, allow me also to appreciate. I know Kerishom had appreciated these guys, but they have done SRC such a big favor. Christine from the Law Reform Commission, taking all your time to come here. All the other chairs, Colonel representing ESCC, my very own chairman of National Police, the Ombudsman himself, the very unique job you have. Thank you for finding time to come. DPP, I know you should be busy doing what you do best, but you found time to come. But more importantly also, Justice Ouko of the Supreme Court for finding time to come and represent the CJ in this matter. We have other distinguished guests from Minister of Defense. We have Mr. Isaac Masinde from Secretary for Administration. But now, allow me to call up here the person, sisi ni watu ya mkono kwa hopes, but the closest mtu ya mkono kwa hopes ni PS, Public Service and Human Capital Development. I'm calling her to make her own remarks, but also do the honorable duty of welcoming our chief guest, not only to make his keynote address, but to launch plan for SRC. Karibu PS.
Head of Public Service and Chief of Staff, riding on the protocols as already established. Wafanyikazi wenzangu, hamjambo? Habari ya asubuhi? Salamu alaikum. Mrembe bosi, Chamugei, Moriega. That is the Kenya that we want. This is a great day for me because we are all here to witness such a momentous time in the life of SRC. This strategic plan that we are launching today, I, myself, as the PS in charge of public service, look to the Kenyans towards excellence and service delivery. And for real, that's the truth why we are here. SRC intends to be smart. Through this strategic plan, SRC has been impactful, measurable, but you wish to take it to another level. SRC, as we look at it, manage our wage bill. And for that matter, they must remain relevant and time-bound. So that there is no doubt, my State Department and SRC, we are tied at the hip. SRC authorizes, and my State Department does it in the payroll. Head of Public Service, for the 5 months that I've been in the office, please, with a lot of humility, allow me to give SRC my score. The first matter that we dealt with very successfully was actually the situation that had taken too long in the office of ODPP. It is no surprise that is here today to celebrate this moment with you. I also wish to thank you so much for what you have done for our uniformed forces. Of course, you authorized, but I implemented. Within this short time, we have done great for gallant Kenyans. And so it is such a joy in my heart to be part of this big moment. And together I can assure you that we shall keep working very well and very closely. To take it another notch higher, I welcome you to my office for a cup of tea. I have been asked to usher onto the stage a gallant son of this nation. It's not a very easy task because as I'm speaking before you, I know he's awarding marks. It's a story for another day. But let me do it this way. Honorable Felix Kiptarus Koskei. When you work closely with him, the words of Estee Lauder will always ring in your mind that success is not dreamt, success is worked for. He works hard. And sometimes you wonder where the energy comes from. Many times, boss, we try to run after you, but you always run beyond us. And that's how it has to be. So today, I am a proud Kenyan who was removed by His Excellency from the four corners of a classroom to the seat of power in Nairobi. And therefore, I stand on shoulders of giants, a giant like the one I am just about to usher onto stage. Can we all rise? It is your moment for us to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you. We can have our seats. It's very interesting how the PS is taking the stage. I have to go back and check her payslip. Perhaps SRC has clandestinely increased her salary. You know. Anyhow, thank you very much, PS. The Principal Secretary in charge of Public Service and Human Capital Development, Dr. Mbunya, the Honorable Justice William Ouko, Judge of the Supreme Court, the chairpersons, the person and commissioners of the SRC, chairpersons of constitutional commissions present, holders of independent offices present, chairpersons and CEOs of state corporations, representatives from the private sector and other institutions, the staff of SRC, honored guests, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a profound honor to stand before you today to mark a crucial milestone in Kenya's public service management, the official launch of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission strategic plan for the period 2025-2030. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission is not merely an institutional body. It is the constitutional conscience regularly review the remuneration and benefits for all state officers and to and fiscal sustainability. For too long, the narrative around Kenya's public service compensation has been dominated by concerns over the ballooning wage bill, which consumes an unsustainably large portion of our national revenues, concerns over pay disparities, where similar roles across different institutions yield vastly different remunerations, and critically concerns over the linkage between pay and performance. Today, we move decisively from concern to commitment. We transition from managing crisis to crafting a sustainable future. The world is changing rapidly. Our economy faces new pressures. Our public service structure is evolving under devolution, and the Kenyan citizen demands greater value for money for every shilling spent. This strategic plan is our response to this environment. It is a roadmap that does not shy away from the hard questions but tackles them head-on, anchored in evidence-based research, productivity metrics, and the principles of equity enshrined in our Constitution. This plan is not a document of cost cutting, as I read it. It is a document of value maximization. It seeks to establish a public service where exceptional talent is attracted, retained, and rewarded transparently, but where every reward is demonstrably linked to national output and service delivery. When I went through your strategic plan, I saw 4 key pillars. This 5-year plan is built on 4 interdependent and mutually reinforcing pillars, which will guide the SRC's interventions and advisory in the years ahead. And the first one that is strikingly clear is about fiscal sustainability and wage bill management. This to me is the bedrock of our of your strategy, SRC. The public wage bill must move from being a structural impediment to fiscal health to a measurable investment in national progress. The SRC focus should be collaboration with all government entities to raise allowances, eliminate redundancies, and ensure that salary reviews tethered to the national economic growth trajectory and budget limitation. We must the national balance sheet. In this strategic plan, we are seeing a very clear plan on equity, fairness, and harmonization. A public officer serving in a similar capacity, regardless of the ministry, agency, or county, must feel this plan commits, as I read it, to closing unwarranted pay gaps and harmonizing standardizes job evaluation results and promotes for work of equal value. This will foster cohesion and boost morale across our diverse public service. In this strategic plan, I saw a clear attempt, a solution that will bring in productivity and performance linkage. Presence is over. I think I repeat. You know, we always compensate numbers, but not output. We must now compensate performance and results. This pillar, to me, is dedicated thinking salary progression and benefits to measure outcome. So the story of saying that I want this number of people should be a thing of the past. We need to see the output, and we need to compensate the output. These numbers sometimes are jackets and coats that are hanging on chairs, and people are out there. So the SRC should champion the integration of remuneration policies with performance contracts and appraisal systems across the public sector. We need to see that link. And public service must be synonymous with productivity. And remuneration must be the reward for excellence in service delivery to the Kenyan people. The fourth focus on this strategic plan is an enhancement or an enhanced stakeholder engagement and communication, which is very critical in the current space that we are in this country. Remuneration is often a sensitive and complex topic. Misunderstandings breeds mistrust. Under this plan, the SRC commits to transforming its communication and engagement strategy. SRC must therefore proactively share data, explain policy rationale, and engage in open dialogue with labor unions, government agencies. It's the antidote to speculation, and we must ensure disinformation sometimes. Therefore, this strategic plan is a blueprint, but a blueprint that to the heads of public institutions, fiscal stability of the nation, to the public servants, and fair rewards. In return, we ask His Excellence your productivity for your remuneration. And to the citizens of Kenya, the money that will go into development will go up to 65%. The interest of the citizens of this country to support this strategic plan. And that the public officers you rely on are motivated that whatever SRC, this they want their country to develop, they want the country to be transformed. SRC is not supported in as far as the adversaries that they give. We are serious about building a public service that is not only of efficiency and fairness. Personally, I am a trained strategic management expert and also an entomologist to boot. So if we are in science, we shall meet. When you are in management, I'm also there. There was strategic management expert that we were taught in class called Will Rogers, if you can remember. And he said, even if you are on the right track, you will get run over if you just sit there. I don't know whether you've come across, even if you are on the right track, you will get run over if you just sit there. Even if you have good thoughts, you have good plans in your head, you have reduced them into a document, you're in the right track. But you just sit there, you are not implementing, you are not doing anything. You will just be runoff. So, SRC, I've gone through your strategic plan. It's good, it's transformative, you are on the right track. But you would risk being run over there and quoting the strategic plan without implementing. I encourage you to implement that strategic plan in full so that this country can benefit from. When the chairman of SRC was here and he was introducing I must confess that I really sympathize with those consultants, because the chairman himself, how it was possible for you people to convince him, because he has done this job of consultants in management for almost 40 years. So since you convinced him, I'm sure you are likely to be the best in town. Congratulations, because you came up with a very good document. The chairman, again, when he was finishing, he had spoken very well. But as he was finishing, he said that we are going to work together, but we are independent. You see, I'm sitting there as head of public service, and I'm 3 years. Commissions, the Chapter 15 commissions and independent officers, they don't really know why they exist. You find 80% of their time they are reminding people that they are independent. 80%. And they are not sat and unpacked the constitutional mandate they were given, so that they can clearly state to what extent are they independent. Because if you are not performing, you cannot just throw the word independent. If you are embezzling funds, if you are not advising, if you are not, leading from the front to ensure that the space that you are there for is well, then no commission is worth being independent. Independent from what? You should be independent from being interfered with in the area that you are supposed to be working on. And truly, you need to guard it when you are implementing fully the constitutional mandate that you will provide. Then we will agree. But when you get people, and many, and I'm telling you, we struggle, because sometimes we want to do something and we as executive know that it has to be done, but it is not our forte. It is one of the other commission. The Constitution and their statutes say that they cannot be directed, they cannot be asked. When you request them, when you call them for a meeting, they say, we cannot come because we are independent. And yet they don't know what is supposed to be done. If you invite them to your office, they don't even take photos. They say, people will say, we have been captured. Ladies and gentlemen, You exist to serve the people of Kenya. You exist to protect and defend the rights of the people of Kenya. You exist to protect and ensure that the resources that come from the taxes are deployed efficiently and correctly. But if you want to say you are independent and you are not doing what you are supposed to do, for sure, they say nature abhors, and we shall step in there. You will run to court, you will get the orders, we unleash the public against you. It is so serious because sometimes I reflect and say, if all of us, and the framers of the constitution knew the reasons as to why, they say there's executive, there's judiciary, we have legislature and commissions. So all of us have to act in a manner that we speak to each other, we understand each other, we are moving in the same direction. So I want to encourage SRC and all the commissions and independent officers to go back, check the mandate that the Constitution gave them, check the statutes, that the enabling statutes that were enacted to enable them operate, and try to implement in full. Occupy that space, just fill it and make it work for the sake of development of this country. There was also this issue of Malaysia, Singapore, the Tigers, these other fellows. And you see, we've been overtaken by South Korea, Singapore is gone, Malaysia is ahead. Even some few African countries are always overtaking us. And we need to ask ourselves why. The statistics show that we are one of the countries that have a highly trained personnel, highly educated, trained personnel, resilient, outgoing, having good frame of mind. But what is this that is holding us back? It is a conversation that we need to make, ladies and gentlemen. And as I was sitting there, I came up with three. One is politics. We have not at all demarcated the extent at which politics should enter into government. Should we have a discussion and say public service, politics is a no-go in public service? We need to have a conversation. We need to have a conversation. This politics, to what extent should it enter into judicial? Do we have to draw a line? In commissions, we need to draw a line so that we protect it follows a trajectory that is designed politics will form government, because or a political wing or political formation that would be run into. And then politicians should slightly so that it can move in the direction that is required. I think we need to have a conversation. We need to work on this corruption. I was in Singapore last year or the other year, and I went through all the systems. And balconies. When you are suspected that, oh, you got some little money to the family, it's a shame to the colleagues, even to instill that that culture, and we need to tackle this corruption. That you are promoting somebody because that he is presenting are from Riverwood, barely literate. The country, pitting one community against another. Yeah, tribalism in this country. It has to go. Same thing, region, North Rift region, not beyond Kerio. Acknowledge competence, let us acknowledge expertise. Shall overtake Zimbabwe. As a matter of fact, the kind of minerals we have in this country, the kind of resources we have, right? It can be first world in 30 years if we are serious. Get to know. You know, the only now clause in the constitution that is so supreme is public participation. Carrying people along. Call it carrying people along, public participation, something like that. Let people understand so that when you put your foot down, as you have been, SRC, by the way, is one of the commissions that are now respected in the country because they have put their foot down and they don't budge. So we need to understand your plan. So as you embark on the next phase of your journey, you need to continue to uphold the ideals of service, our constitutional order. So I extend my best wishes for continued success. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and twenty-ninth day of October in the and 2025. Thank you and God bless you.
Yeah, we can sit down, and we will ask the team to present to the chair the gift, and the chair will present it to the head of public service, our chief guest, on behalf of the commission. Okay. Commissioner Kilda, citation. Thank you.
Yes, our chief guest, you must be wondering why we have given you this tall giraffe. We just didn't pick it for the sake of it. A giraffe symbolizes grace, patience, intuition, and a unique perspective like the one you have shared with us here. Its towering height that you see there represents seeing the big, while its calm demeanor symbolizes balance and inner peace. Giraffes are also associated with uniqueness, kindness, sincerity, and elevated vision, embodying both gentle strength and adaptability. And I hope you will remember that whenever you see this gift. Okay.
Thank you so much. Chief Guest, Head of Public Service, will allow that we step down, and I will ask the chairpersons of independent commissions, led by our chair of SRC, Sami Chepkwony, to come up from here. We want to perform a small ceremony for the official launch. Chairpersons, welcome. The camera team, chair.
You know, I forgot. I just focused on this side when I was looking at the chairpersons of independent commissions and the independent offices, and I forgot the main guy. Time to come with his vice chair. Where is the vice chair? I saw you, vice chair. Thank you so much. Thank Public Works. Huh?
Public Works.
Is where is he? He's there.
Much karibu. Chief Guest, we can step. Yes, yes. We are doing a countdown from, we'll do 10 factorial. So allow that to begin from 10, 1, 4, 3, makofi, makofi, makofi. From here, and then immediately we will join this team. Daktari Bijiwe, kindly step up from with Commissioner Haden. That should be the first photo. That's the first photo, and then immediately followed by photo session with SRC commissioners together with our chief guest. Haya, makofi kwa hiyo timu ya kwanza. Thank you so much. I'll ask all of us, except the chief guest and the chairperson SRC, to remain, and then SRC team to join. SRC commissioners, kindly join our chief guest. See, you did not give one, preserve one for me, but just let's do it. Yes. Tony, come. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.